He was not as handsome and charming as David Beckham, and his career was filled with storms and hardships. Yet he remains one of those players who made our hearts tremble and left us in awe whenever his name was mentioned. A genius talent, one of a kind, without equal. Every time we recall his name, we cannot help but smile, because he himself had a smile impossible to forget, a charming, indescribable smile. That buck-toothed striker with the unforgettable look we speak of is none other than Ronaldo de Lima. And anyone in the world would agree he was the phenomenon, blessed with otherworldly talent. Like many other South American boys, Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima was born in a poor but peaceful suburb, about 30 kilometers from the center of Rio de Janeiro. His name carried a sacred meaning. It was given in tribute to the doctor who delivered him, and also in honor of the godfather of a family friend. Ronaldo had a peaceful childhood. On Christmas 1980, he received his very first football. From then on, he almost never parted with it, always juggling it, even sleeping with it. That was the beginning of the glory and fame awaiting the little boy and the nation of Brazil in the years to come. On the streets of his hometown, Ronaldo taught himself how to master the ball. His childhood idol was Zico, the legendary Brazilian playmaker. As a child, he was mocked by friends and given nicknames because of his buck teeth. He spent little time at school and most of his time playing football in the streets, despite his parents' efforts to earn enough for him to study at prestigious schools. Ronaldo made his debut for Brazil on March 24, 1994 in Recife, in a friendly against neighboring Argentina. Coming on from the bench, his very first strides reminded people of the king of football, Pelé. In his second match for the Seleção, he scored his first goal, won a penalty, and provided an assist as Brazil beat Iceland 3-0. That performance convinced national team coach Carlos Alberto Pereira to include him in the squad for the 1994 World Cup in the United States. At that time, Brazilian media were searching every day for a new Pelé, a new king, and Ronaldo became one of the brightest focal points of the tournament in America. Ronaldo's name ignited the desire of Europe's biggest clubs to sign him. However, Ronaldo did not play a single minute throughout the tournament. Without him, the duo of Romario and Bebeto successfully led the Seleção to their fourth world title. But 4 years later, Ronaldo was no longer the young boy of 1994. By then, he had risen to the stature of a true star, playing for Europe's top clubs, PSV Eindhoven, Barcelona, and later Inter Milan. At the 1998 World Cup in France, Ronaldo entered the tournament as the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, France football, and FIFA World Player of the Year 1997. He was the great hope of the entire nation. The Brazilian public and media eagerly awaited his performances, believing he could once again bring home the World Cup trophy. Brazil opened the tournament with a 2-1 win over Scotland. It was Ronaldo's very first World Cup match, though he failed to make an impact. But that was only a matter of time. He scored in the second game against Morocco. In the round of 16 against Chile, Brazil won, and Ronaldo scored 2 crucial goals, a penalty and a right-footed strike from 16 meters. In the quarterfinal against Denmark, he didn't score but provided 2 assists for Bebeto and Rivaldo as the Seleção netted 3 goals. Ronaldo, with the qualities of a true star, once again found the back of the net in the semi-final against the Netherlands. He opened the scoring just 22 seconds into the second half, receiving a long pass from Rivaldo, and helped secure a ticket to the final against the host nation, France. The final was billed as a classic showdown between Ronaldo and Zidane. The world expected the 2 biggest stars of both teams to deliver a spectacle. But a serious problem struck Ronaldo. Just an hour before kickoff, shock swept across the stadium. A newspaper prediction sheet had Ronaldo listed among the substitutes, with Edmundo starting alongside Bebeto in attack. Half an hour later, while journalists puzzled over the absence of Brazil's brightest star, Ronaldo suddenly reappeared and reclaimed his place in the starting lineup. But like his teammates, Ronaldo failed to shine throughout the match. He had just one real chance against the French defense, a back line that had only been breached twice all tournament. Despite his efforts, Ronaldo's powerful strike was not enough to beat goalkeeper Fabien Barthez. In the end, Brazil lost 3-0, and the Golden Trophy went to France for the very first time. Ronaldo finished the tournament with 4 goals and topped the assist chart, achievements enough to earn him the title of best player of the tournament. Yet what did that matter if Brazil failed to be crowned champions? The best player of the tournament later recalled, "I have beautiful memories of the 1998 World Cup. It was a spectacular tournament, but unfortunately, we played very poorly in the final against France. I remember the atmosphere vividly. Playing a World Cup final against the host nation France was a huge challenge, and even more so when you had to face an inspired Zinedine Zidane." Ironically, the best player of the tournament was reduced to a supporting role for someone who would even go on to receive a red card in his very first World Cup. Ronaldo was far from his best for that match. He had been carrying knee pain since the start of the tournament due to patellar tendonitis, and fatigue hit him particularly hard. He also suffered pain in his left ankle after a previous collision. An even more shocking revelation came the day after the final, when Brazil's team doctor disclosed that Ronaldo had suffered a seizure and convulsions of unknown origin. The condition forced him into further medical checks, though French doctors found no injury. Incredibly, Ronaldo returned to the starting lineup less than an hour before the match began. As the team's cornerstone, Ronaldo's condition inevitably shattered the squad's morale. Bebeto later admitted, "I think things would have been different if Ronaldo hadn't been ill." Just 4 hours before kickoff, Ronaldo's health became a major concern. Panic spread throughout the camp, the entire team lost focus, and it was evident in their performance on the pitch. The 2002 World Cup began in complete contrast for the phenomenon. Expectations had diminished. Brazil's qualifying campaign had been alarming, with poor results and a misfiring attack. Ronaldo had not played for the national team since October 1999, plagued by a string of injuries. Even when he returned to action in Italy in September 2001, recurring injuries meant he could do little to help. Ronaldo was no longer the star upon whom an entire nation placed its hopes, as they had in 1998. It was a completely different picture. Would Ronaldo's story end as tragically as it had begun? Fortunately, he recovered just in time. He was called up for a friendly against Yugoslavia on March 27, 2002. Barely 3 months before the World Cup, even though he hadn't played a single competitive minute in the previous 3 months. Ronaldo's performances with Inter Milan, capped by an impressive showing against Portugal, convinced Luis Felipe Scolari to ensure his place in Brazil's starting lineup. More than that, Scolari made Ronaldo the centerpiece of his team, despite lingering concerns over his fitness. Unlike 4 years earlier, Brazil and Ronaldo entered the tournament in Korea and Japan with little pressure. And it was precisely then that Ronaldo shone brightest. In the opening match against Turkey, Brazil won 2-1 thanks to Ronaldo's equalizer. His first goal for Brazil after 3 years ravaged by injury. He struck again against China, and then scored twice more against Costa Rica. Thus, Ronaldo and his teammates advanced from the group stage, and he had already bagged 4 goals. In the round of 16 against Belgium, Brazil controlled the first half, but had a goal controversially disallowed. In the second half, Rivaldo broke the deadlock before Ronaldo sealed the victory, guiding Brazil through a difficult challenge. In the quarterfinal against England, Brazil came from behind to win thanks to Ronaldinho's stunning long-range free kick. In the semifinal, Ronaldo was the only goal scorer as Brazil defeated the tournament's dark horse Turkey, a team they had already faced in the group stage. And so, for the second time in a row, Ronaldo was set to play in a World Cup final. But this time, would the outcome be a rainbow at the end of the storm? Zinedine Zidane scored twice to defeat Brazil in the 1998 World Cup final, while Ronaldo could do nothing. Surely Ronaldo did not want that ending to repeat itself. In the 2002 final, Ronaldo scored twice, and it was he who delivered Brazil's historic fifth world title. 4 years earlier, goalkeeper Fabien Barthez had denied Ronaldo's powerful strike, when the Brazilian was one of the brightest stars on the planet. But in 2002, as injuries threatened to dim his fame, Ronaldo easily beat Oliver Kahn, the tournament's best goalkeeper. Kahn had been outstanding, conceding only 1 goal in 6 matches before the final. But against a Ronaldo stronger than ever, forged by hardship and blessed with genius, even Kahn was forced to bow. That alone said it all. Even Oliver Kahn admitted that Ronaldo was simply a phenomenon, a player with speed, strength, and the ability to score from anywhere. It was the perfect ending for the buck-toothed striker after all those years. Throughout the tournament, Ronaldo was the undisputed top scorer with 8 goals, including 2 in the final. In 1994, he was only a substitute. In 1998, he suffered a serious crisis before the final. But in 2002, the Golden Trophy was his, a title he deserved more than anyone. Ronaldo reflected, "That victory meant more to me than anything else because I had endured 4 difficult years after the 1998 World Cup. I suffered 2 serious knee injuries in just 2 years. Thank God I recovered in time to regain my form and fitness and then play in the tournament." There was one similarity with the 1998 World Cup. The best player of the tournament again played a supporting role to the man who scored twice in the final. But this time, Ronaldo was no longer the supporting act. He understood that 2 goals in a World Cup final were worth 1,000 times more than any individual award. The most wonderful moment was when he placed his hands on the golden trophy, lifted it high, and kissed it. His only regret was that no photo captured that exact moment. That trophy symbolized the greatest prize a footballer could ever win. It was a team title, one every nation dreams of. Clearly, Ronaldo's 2002 World Cup journey began opposite to 1998 and ended in the exact opposite way. Luckily, this time the contrast was a blessing. Instead of being the runner-up, he was the protagonist, holding the most prestigious trophy in world football. No longer merely a hollow personal award, as in 1998, Ronaldo also claimed the Golden Boot with his 8 goals, raising his total to 12 World Cup goals, equaling Pelé's record for Brazil. With every honor in his hands, perhaps even a king knows when to stop, to preserve the most beautiful memories. Ronaldo returned for his 4th World Cup, but his physical condition was fragile, weighing 90.5 kilograms, more than 8 kilos heavier than in 2002. This earned him the nickname Fat Ronaldo. He hadn't played since April 8th and had limped off in the 64th minute of Real Madrid's match against Real Sociedad. Entering the tournament, Brazil beat Croatia 1-0 and then Australia 2-0 convincingly, but Ronaldo failed to score. Then came Japan. Ronaldo struck twice, and those goals put him alongside Gerd Müller of Germany at the top of the all-time World Cup scoring charts. Ronaldo's World Cup story was full of emotions, the coming of age of a true man. From a boy learning from his predecessors, to a brilliant young striker filled with ambition, then being crushed by life's storms. Yet none of it stopped Ronaldo de Lima. In 2002, after enduring every pain his career could throw at him, he returned stronger, tougher, and colder than ever, to finally seize the glory he had waited 8 long years for. Ronaldo's records may one day be broken, but no fan who ever watched him play could forget such a gifted, extraordinary, and graceful striker, one whose talent commanded universal admiration. Whenever his name is recalled with those dazzling runs and breathtaking goals, fans know they will never see another quite like him. Because simply, he was the phenomenon. Ronaldo de Lima.